Good morning. Whoops, something just made a noise. Good morning. Happy Thursday to you. Alrighty, let's see here. Let me check it to make sure I'm in the right place. How are you guys this morning? I hope you're doing well. Yep, I'm in the right spot. Okay, so let's see here. Today is Thursday, almost the end of the month. This month has gone extremely fast. I know that we all say that all the time, but it really has, especially considering how much we've done in the past month. If you've been with me since the beginning, we're on day 28, guys. 28 days worth of journaling every day in your journal. If you've missed a few days, that's okay. That's no problem. Before I started this challenge, I did not journal every day. I would miss days and I didn't think anything about it. I just would pick up the next time and keep on going. But I found that sometimes I would miss several days in a row if I wasn't good about making sure I did it every single day. So since this challenge, I've been really good. Good morning, Denise. Since this challenge started, I've been really good and I have not missed a day in all of August. So I'm really proud of myself. So that's one of the reasons I started this whole thing, because I wanted to challenge myself, but I also wanted to have somebody that I was accountable to. And I started this group, and now I've got 250 some of you guys that help me stay accountable, because I come to you every morning showing you what I'm doing. You've been showing me what you're doing. Denise, you have been awesome in showing me what you are doing. I am so excited that so many of you are sharing your pictures and your drawings and your devotions and everything with me. That means a lot to me. It really does. Okay, so let's see here. Today, our scripture is James 1:5. I love James. James is one of my favorite books in the Bible. So let's go ahead and look. I'm going to show you what I did yesterday. I put a video of it. Do you guys like when I do that? Put the video up and show you how I've done it. I know I've gotten a couple DMs from people saying that they really appreciate them, because they'll see my pictures and they'll think that that's something they can't do. But then when I break it down and show them exactly how I've done it, they're like, oh, I could do that. Especially when I do ones like yesterday. I just I designed it in Canva, which you can do if you're creative. If you're not, you can just find something online that you like and print it out yourself and put it right in your journal. And I just use a regular old Elmer's glue stick is all I use to put mine in. And I've not had any problems whatsoever. Just from the beginning, the different ones that I've done, they've not lifted the page, they haven't buckled the page or anything. They turn out just perfect. So I put that in there, did my words, put a couple trees down at the bottom, and that's what I did for yesterday with Deuteronomy 31:8. So today is going to be James 1:5, and let me go ahead and remove this. So James 1:5, like I said, James is one of my favorite books of the Bible. And I'll be honest with you, it wasn't until I took a class, oh goodness, Jillian, what was the name of the class we took together? The discipleship class. I did it with my daughter Jillian, and we read through the Bible in a year during these classes, and we really dug into them. And I loved James. I really fell in love with James when we went through and discussed everything. So James 1:5 today is, if any of you need wisdom, ask God, ask God who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. So James is was the half brother of Jesus, and in this passage, he's talking about the wisdom that we need when we encounter difficulties in our lives and when we need to make tough choices. So until Jesus' resurrection, James was pretty hostile towards God, and he was not a fan of his brother Jesus at all. Can you imagine the shock that he felt when he discovered that the person that he had treated so poorly when he was alive was actually his Lord and Savior? I mean, seriously, can you even imagine what that would be like? So, luckily, even though James lacked the wisdom to admit who Jesus was when he was alive, he was very ready and willing to share what he had learned and how easy it is to actually gain wisdom and spiritual understanding. And James had a very teachable spirit, so he quickly embraced the wisdom and of faith that he lacked while his brother was alive. So James learned that trusting the Lord for godly wisdom as we go through life is a tool that the Lord uses to test and strengthen our faith with him. It helps us to build endurance, the endurance that we need for spiritual growth. So when you think of the word wisdom, what do you think of? What do you think wisdom means? When I was looking it up to see exactly what it said, a lot of places talked about it was knowledge. Wisdom is knowledge, but it's not just wisdom, or it's not just knowledge and information. It's practical, spiritual insight from God's values. So I keep thinking, when I think of wisdom, I think of Solomon. And when he asked God not just for knowledge, but he asked for the insight on how to apply that knowledge effectively, right? So that to me is so much more than just asking for information, right? You don't just want to know what's going to happen. You want the wisdom and the knowledge on how to handle that. Life is tough. It's full of disappointments. It's full of problems and hardships. And sometimes we make the wrong choices in life. But it is so comforting to know that no matter what trials happen in our life or obstacles we might face, we can always go to God and we can ask him for guidance, and we ask him to open our ears and open our eyes and ask him for directions on the way that we need to go. And the best part is he promises to give us wisdom. When you ask God for help, it proves that you trust him. And that actually helps you grow deeper in your trust with God, right? So God gives generously when we ask for good things. He does. That's what he does, especially if it's in his will. So even if we've screwed up and we've sinned, if we come to God and we ask God for forgiveness and guidance, he is thrilled to give it to us, right? He gives us wisdom without pointing out our faults. So it doesn't matter where we've been as much as it matters where we're going with God. We have to accept God's plan for our life, and then we have to ask for the wisdom to deal with it. We aren't supposed to do what we think or what we want, nor what we do. We shouldn't be doing what others say we are. We're supposed to be seeking God for his guidance, for his word, for the wisdom and the knowledge that we need, and he will give it to us. Do you struggle with that? I do. I do. I always feel like I need to do it myself, and I need to learn to give up more, making sure that I'm asking God for that wisdom. It's not the place that you find yourself that's important, but the one who is with you, right? So what do you think? What do you think? What is James 1:5 saying to you today? Do you feel like you lack wisdom? Do you feel like you forget to ask for wisdom? I think that's my biggest thing, is I pray to God for help, but I don't always have my ears open for the wisdom that he's giving me on things. I try, but I'm not very good. How about you? Tell me how you feel about this James 1:5 and what you think about it. So while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and look up. I looked up James 1:5 to see what I could put in my journal today as far as a picture. So here are some things. If anyone needs wisdom, ask God. There's a real big ask God, because that's a big one there. Ask God and it will be given to you. There's a whole bunch of different smaller ones here. Wisdom. Sometimes you think of wisdom as in books or teachings or knowledge. So here's a neat one that has some pictures of some books. Um, he will not rebuke you for asking. Here's one with ideas. This one says, Teacher God, you are the source of truth and the source of wisdom. You know my heart, my intentions, and my struggles. I pray to ask you for wisdom. Be with me when I make decisions. Help me to be the best version of me today. I love that prayer. I love that prayer. I might have to add that at the bottom of my journal today. All right, so what I did was I found one the other day when I was preparing for this, or last night, not the other day. And what I found was one, let me pull this back up. We'll get rid of this one, remove this one, and pull this one back in. And what I found was this one here. This one says, wisdom, ask God. So I think I might do something similar to this one today. And I'm just going to, I probably won't copy this. I'll just, or trace it. I'll probably just go ahead and write the big words wisdom. And I like these little flowers in here. There's little flowers here and here. And then it says ask God, nice and big. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do. Now I have a whole bunch of stencils that I have available in my shop. And they have lots of different designs and different flowers and things like that. So I might use one of these for my flowers or as my divider. There's just been some regular lines. Also, have you ever used washi tape? Washi tape is really cool. I have some of it available in my kits too. That is just little tiny rolls and it's got the little designs. I could even put that in between. It's got little blue flowers. I might do that. I like that little blue flower. Here's a blue one. Here's two that kind of match together. So I might do that. Denise says, I ask for wisdom quite often. If I find myself second guessing myself, that's no fun. Oh my goodness, absolutely. And how many times do we second guess ourselves? You know, we make a decision and then we're constantly thinking, wait, is that my wishing or is that from God? I struggle with that at times because, you know, we always think that we're right. And that's not always the case, is it? We need to be asking God for guidance, definitely. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for joining me, Denise. There's a couple other people on, but they haven't said who they are, and that's totally fine. You don't have to come aboard. I'd love it if you would come on and say hi while I'm live, but otherwise, please make comments down below. Let me know what you think of the devotion for the day, what your thoughts are for this verse, okay? And then please share. I love seeing your journal. Some of you have been really, really good in sharing all of your journal pages, especially Denise. I love that. And but there's a few others too that have been sharing. Tina has been sharing quite a bit. So I appreciate that. I really love it when you do that. So please continue to do that. And we will see you tomorrow morning, all right? Have a blessed day. Bye.